Hey guys, Roxxy Sims here, and I have another speed build for you today. Today I am building Brindleton Place Market, which is a play on Pike Place Market. If you don't know what Pike Place Market is, it is this huge, famous market in Seattle, Washington of the United States, and it's pretty famous. It's probably what you would consider the birthplace of this little known coffee shop called Starbucks. Yeah, I would definitely call Pike Place Market the birthplace of that. The original Starbucks is found in Pike Place Market. And yeah, so I'm doing just a play on that. But this is Brindleton Bay, of course, so I went with Brindleton Place Market. The real Pike Place Market, like I said, is huge. It's a really big market. It's somewhat indoors, somewhat outdoors. And, the lots over in Brindleton Bay, at least on this dock area, kind of small. So I definitely couldn't make it as big as Pike Place Market. But I just wanted to make something that kind of felt like Pike Place Market. And I really think Brindleton Bay is perfect. It is in a bay. It's, surrounded by water, the docks. The architecture is really cool. So I thought it just really, really fit. And it was perfect for what I was going for, I think. This market is going to have a little, like a fishmonger, a florist, a little coffee shop area, a deli, bakery, and yeah, and then an apartment up top. And also upstairs is going to be just the upstairs of the bakery, so a place to do all the baking if you actually are going to run it as a bakery. But you can run it as multiple things. Like you can, it could function as a cafe. It could function just as a regular retail, a bakery. There's a couple options there for sure. I'm not sure if I had already talked about this on my channel before, but not too long ago, I was lucky enough to be able to take a trip to the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest is like Washington State and Oregon. I got to go to both, and it was kind of like the trip of a lifetime for me. I have this weird, I don't know if it's weird, but it's intense obsession with the Pacific Northwest. I mean, really, my husband is probably so tired of hearing about the Pacific Northwest. It's where I want to move. I want to live there. It's so pretty there. And so the story goes, like how I became obsessed with the Pacific Northwest is whenever I was in 5th grade, I have a close family friend. Her parents were divorced. Her mom lived here. Her dad lived in Washington. And she went to visit her dad over the summer. She comes back to school when school starts, and I asked her like how the trip was, and she said it was awesome. And she's like, "Hey, you want to look at all the pictures?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll definitely look at the pictures." And she started showing me the pictures, and I was just like blown away by the beauty, the absolute beauty of Washington. She took lots of pictures, and I mean, it really like stuck with me. Like, that is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. And like I said, that was in 5th grade. I was 11. But those pictures, wow. Like I said, they blew me away. I was like, I have to go there. So it's really been since childhood that I've wanted to go there and just see. I mean, if you haven't seen pictures of the Pacific Northwest, definitely look them up. Everything's so green, and they have a lot of rain, so there's just moss and green everywhere. It's my aesthetic for sure. And so yeah, I've been wanting to go there for that long, since I was 11, and finally I got to go. My first stop on the trip was Pike Place Market. So yeah, that's where the inspiration came from for this build. And my very first stop while I was in Pike Place Market was actually the inspiration for this section of the market. So the first place we went to was Market Grill in Pike Place Market. It's like a little seafood restaurant, and like this one, very much like this. So not like a fancy seafood restaurant, just, like they have like little booths, and this one had seafood in there. They're kind of famous for their clam chowder. So, yeah, you go to Seattle, like clam chowder, you gotta get some. There's like so many places that have famous clam chowder. So, this was the one in Pike Place Market that we had to go to. We had to, long flight, needed some sustenance for the long day of pretty much just checking out Seattle. It was very good clam chowder, by the way, so definitely check out Market Grill if you're ever in Pike Place Market. And it's probably going to be different people if you go, but the guy who worked there, so nice and so funny. Yeah, awesome people there. And also that was also inspired by, in Pike Place Market, they're kind of known for throwing fish around, in the market. And yeah, so I had to have some fish out on display there because they warn you, like, hey, watch where you're going because they throw fish around there. I'm like, oh, okay. So I only saw like one or two fish being thrown around, but that was pretty cool. And then the second booth there is very much inspired by Starbucks, of course. The original Starbucks is located in Pike Place Market. But you know what is funny about that is that it's called the original Starbucks. But I did a little research. It's actually not the original Starbucks. The original Starbucks has since been like demolished. So they just call the one in Pike Place Market the original. It was the second one. So, pretty close. It's the oldest one still standing. We'll say that. So, we like checked out the Starbucks in Pike Place Market. But, I did a lot of research whenever I was planning the trip. And everyone said, look, it's cool that you can see the original Starbucks, but it's just like every other Starbucks, so don't like waste a lot of your time there. So I actually didn't even like get any coffee from Starbucks there. I thought I would like try some more, I don't know, something new. I go to Starbucks all the time here, so, and plus the line was so long. It was huge. And a lot of people wanting to get some original Starbucks coffee. But one thing that was very cool about the Starbucks is that they had this live performer outside. Like, he didn't work for Starbucks or anything. They just had lots of street performers. So I definitely put in a couple street performing things. So there's like a little street performing music place in front of the bakery over there. And then I also have one where, like a street painter kind of thing. Maybe he does caricatures or something. So yeah, definitely wanted to include that aspect of Pike Place Market into this build. Something else that you'll find a lot of in Pike Place Market is florist. So definitely had to have like a little florist section. There are also lots of delis and bakeries. Oh man, that, like I said, that place is huge. There was kind of a little bit of everything in Pike Place Market. There are people selling jewelry, clothing, decor, fruits and vegetables, pretty much everything. And you might have noticed that I did put a couple of pigs in this build. There's a pig holding up the bakery door, and there's another little pig over by like the fishmonger area. That's actually inspired by there's like this famous pig statue in Pike Place Market. I guess it's a bronze pig, if I'm not mistaken, and it's huge. So I had to put a couple pigs in there as a tribute to the pig statue there. One thing that I really wish I would have thought to include in this build is the gum wall. So, like very close to Pike Place Market, there is, I think it's a theater. And I don't know how it started, But someone, maybe a group, I'm not sure, started putting their gum on this brick wall. And now it's kind of a famous thing to do when you're in Pike Place Market, is to actually take your gum out and stick it on the wall. So is this huge wall just full of gum. And I think at first they didn't know why people were doing it. And they tried like scraping it off, kept scraping it off and scraping it off. And then I think they finally realized, like, we just gotta give in and just let the people put the gum on there because they're just gonna do it no matter what. So I did get a chance to put some of my own gum on the wall. I guess it's like a famous thing. So I don't know exactly how I would have portrayed that in this game. I don't know, but I really wish I would have thought of it beforehand and tried to figure out some way to include the gum wall. I know it's kind of gross, right? It's gross, but it's like tradition. It's like what you do when you go to Pike Place Market. You know, when in Rome, I guess. So when in Pike Place Market, you put your gum on the wall. That's just not a thing that they only do in Seattle, though, either. Like, there is this tree in Washington, D.C., where people take their gum and stick a penny to the gum, and they put it on this one tree. So this tree has just thousands, probably more even, tens of thousands. Who even knows how many pennies and gum that they have sticking on that tree. So apparently putting your gum on stuff is like a thing in some places. So yeah, who knew? Anyways, just working on the apartment now. I really do like having apartments above businesses. Well, it's realistic for one thing, but also I really like to have my Sims live in an apartment above the business that they own. You know, so a lot of times if I have a retail space, I like for them to live there. So they still have to, you know, it's not technically them living there, like they still have their house and everything. But, you know, for the most part, I can have them stay there. Because I think running a retail space kind of is time consuming, don't you think? And so I really like having a space where they can just go after work. And, you know, if I'm having a sim really work up their business, I just really prefer for them to live there. So, yeah, I like having an apartment that has just everything that you need there. I also really try not to upload anything that has a lot of like empty spaces in it. You know, I try to furnish everything, you know, as much as possible. So, yeah. And speaking of having it uploaded, I actually built something like this, like right when I came home from my trip to the Pacific Northwest. So this is actually, like, I built it, like, right before I started my YouTube, so I already have something like this on my gallery, but I did put in some updated items from packs that we've gotten since, so it is a little different than the one that I had previously uploaded. I wanted this apartment to have kind of a cozy, traditional, kind of nautical feel to it, and, you know, I thought maybe this person who lives here could maybe own the fish shop downstairs. Yeah, I thought that fit pretty good, so went for definitely a nautical theme with this one. And the person that I had in my mind just seemed like they would be a dog person, so had to put a few pet items in here. They just seem like they'd go out and walk their dog before their shift at the fish shop. Yeah, that's the kind of the idea I had for it. If you are thinking of a place to visit in the United States, I gotta say, my vote is going to the Pacific Northwest. See, I kind of went all over. I went, you know, the plan landed in Seattle. We rented a car and drove down to Portland, Oregon, a little south of there, went over to Astoria, Oregon, and then we went back up north into Washington again, and there was some awesome, they have a rainforest in Washington, And yes, a rainforest. It's a temperate rainforest, so it's like a cool rainforest. We did hikes. We hiked up in the mountain. It was just an amazing, amazing trip. So if you're ever looking for a place, that is my suggestion for the day. Oh, and if you're a coffee lover, yes, you should go. It's kind of like, I mean, it's the birthplace of Starbucks, but also there's lots of different awesome coffee shops there. Some of the best coffee, like probably the best cappuccino I've ever had in my life there. So, yes, coffee lovers unite and go there. Well, guys, we are pretty much done with this video. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I hope to talk to you all again very soon. Bye, everybody.